Your encouragement is significant. As 90% of our viewers have not yet subscribed, we invite your support to continue producing captivating content. Kindly subscribe and activate the notification bell. Share your location with us by dropping your city in the comments below. Mia had always taken great pride in her role as the ideal partner. At 32, she juggled her role as a graphic designer alongside her responsibilities as a mother to two lively kids, aged 6 and 8. Her husband, James, was a committed accountant, frequently putting in extended hours to support their family. Though he was nurturing and encouraging, the pressures of their daily lives allowed scant opportunity for intimate moments. The flame that once fueled their connection started to wane, dimmed by the monotony of everyday existence. Mia discovered comfort in her tight-knit community, especially in her neighbor, Amelia, a delightful man in his late 30s. He had settled in a year prior, and his laid-back demeanor and contagious laughter endeared him to the children in the neighborhood. Amelia possessed a unique ability to make Mia feel acknowledged and comprehended, a realization of her unspoken desire that only emerged with his arrival in her life. As time passed, the exchanges between Mia and Amelia grew increasingly regular. Friendly exchanges over the fence blossomed into extended discussions as they assisted one another with their gardening tasks. Mia experienced a rush every time their paths crossed, a flicker of an emotion she hadn't encountered in ages. Initially, it was all in good fun, filled with lighthearted teasing and joy. Yet, as time went on, the discussions grew more profound. They exchanged tales of their youthful days and aspirations that lay ahead. With every interaction, Mia sensed a growing vitality within her. One afternoon, as their children frolicked together, Mia and Amelia discovered themselves in solitude in the backyard. The sun dipped below the horizon, enveloping the world in a soft, enchanting light that transformed the ordinary into something extraordinary. They shared stories and chuckled until the sound of their laughter gradually gave way to a serene quietude. Mia sensed a palpable tension surrounding her, a deep yearning that drew her closer to him. That evening, after James returned home from work, Mia was unable to dispel the thrill that remained from her meeting with Amelia. She attempted to concentrate on her family, yet her mind drifted back to him. The days that followed became a haze of remorse and longing. Mia couldn't help but steal quick looks at Amelia whenever their paths crossed, her heart pounding with each fleeting moment their eyes connected. On a Friday evening, James found himself working late, while the children had already drifted off to sleep by 8. Mia experienced a deep yearning for connection and made the choice to stroll over to Amelia's house to borrow a book she had previously mentioned. As she neared his front door, her heart pounded, fueled not only by the excitement of the moment, but also by the apprehension of her actions. Amelia greeted her with a friendly smile, and they took a seat on his porch, exchanging tales and laughter beneath the twinkling stars. The air was electric, and Mia sensed an irresistible attraction to him. Their dialogue flowed effortlessly, touching on topics ranging from beloved films to aspirations, and as the exchange grew more profound, so too did the palpable tension that hung in the air. Gradually, they found themselves drawn closer, the distance between them diminishing until their knees brushed against each other. In that instant, Mia sensed that everything else had slipped into oblivion. They were completely immersed in their own world, just the two of them, isolated from everything else. As Amelia leaned in to gently tuck a stray strand of hair behind her ear, Mia felt her breath catch in her throat. A whirlwind of emotions surged within her, excitement, fear, and an undeniable desire. In that intense moment, Amelia leaned in, gently pressing his lips against hers. It was a kiss that stirred something profound inside her, something she believed had long been lost. Mia experienced a surge of vitality, the excitement of the taboo sparking a flame within her that she had not known still burned. She returned the kiss, her thoughts swirling in a tempest of contradictions. As they drove off, the weight of reality settled in once more. Mia felt a whirlwind of emotions, guilt and confusion intertwined with an unexpected thrill. She was aware that she was stepping over a boundary, yet the bond she experienced with Amelia was utterly captivating. After lingering in a haze for a bit longer, she resolved it was time to return home. As she made her way back, the burden of her choices pressed down on her, her heart laden with the realization that she had let James down. The days that came after that fateful night swept Mia into a storm of feelings. She found herself ensnared in a tangle of remorse, yet she couldn't ignore the thrill that Amelia infused into her existence. They exchanged secretive looks whenever they crossed paths, and Mia felt a deep longing for the connection they had experienced. Each moment shared with James carried the weight of her hidden truth. She made an effort to engage with her husband and children, yet her thoughts drifted, revisiting the kiss and daydreaming about the possibility of being with Amelia once more. The inner conflict engulfed her, creating a chasm between her and James, who stayed blissfully ignorant of the storm simmering inside her. As the weeks unfolded, Mia felt herself becoming increasingly entangled in this dual existence. As she spent more time with Amelia, their bond deepened with every meeting. They exchanged fleeting moments, brief kisses, hushed confessions, and lingering caresses that left Mia gasping for air. With every encounter, a surge of excitement coursed through her veins, intertwined with the nagging guilt that trailed her relentlessly. Mia's existence transformed into a fragile dance, managing her family while concealing her clandestine romance. She found herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, balancing the deep affection she held for James against the exhilarating spark she shared with Amelia. The burden of guilt pressed down on her mind, yet the thrill of her new romance was simply too enticing to ignore. Whenever James praised her or declared his affection, Mia experienced a sharp twinge of regret. She adored him, yet she found herself unexpectedly drawn to Amelia in a manner she had never anticipated. She started to doubt all her beliefs regarding love, loyalty, and happiness. As Mia traversed this tempest of feelings, she encountered a pivotal decision: to persist along this perilous route or to confront the truth of her circumstances. Unbeknownst to her, the choice she was about to make would alter the course of her life in ways she could never have imagined. As the weeks stretched into months, Mia's life spiraled into greater chaos. The excitement of her clandestine relationship with Amelia was exhilarating, yet it carried a heavy price. She discovered that she was deceiving James regarding her location, weaving intricate tales to mask her actions. Every falsehood seemed to pile onto her conscience, and the burden of guilt was starting to choke her. One evening, as Mia sat on the porch with Amelia, the burden of her decisions enveloped her. They shared laughter and fond memories of their recent escapade, a spontaneous journey to the beach where they spent hours conversing and enjoying each other's company beneath the stars. Yet, the mirth dwindled as they both felt the weight of the circumstances. "Mia, we can't continue down this path," Amelia said, his voice laden with worry. "It's essential to determine your desires." His words resonated deeply, and Mia was suddenly engulfed by a surge of panic. She was swept away by the thrill, failing to fully contemplate the repercussions. Yet, beneath the surface, she understood that she could no longer sustain the facade. The prospect of losing her family sent chills down her spine, but the notion of severing her bond with Amelia was just as unsettling. That night, Mia came back home, burdened by a weighty sorrow. She slipped into bed beside James, who was already lost in slumber. As she reclined, her gaze fixed on the ceiling, a profound sense of hopelessness washed over her. She cherished James, yet her heart was torn. The vision of Amelia remained etched in her thoughts, evoking the fervor and thrill she had longed for. With the dawn of a new day, Mia resolved to take action. She had to face James and express her true emotions. It was the sole path to progress, even if it required confronting the harsh reality of her choices. Once the children departed for school, she settled James in front of her and inhaled deeply. "James, we must have a conversation," she said, her voice quivering. James glanced upward, worry evident in his expression. "Is all well?" "No, it's not," Mia replied, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I've made some decisions that have caused us pain, and it's important for me to be truthful about them." As she recounted every detail, her emotions for Amelia, the kisses, the moments they cherished, James's expression transformed from bewilderment to sorrow. The anguish in his gaze was nearly overwhelming, and Mia sensed that she was fracturing the very core of their shared existence. The ensuing dialogue was steeped in fury, treachery, and sorrowful weeping. James felt a profound sense of loss, and Mia could clearly perceive the pain reflected in his expression. He had always placed his faith in her, and now that faith was shattered. As they conversed, Mia became acutely aware of the magnitude of her actions. Not only had she betrayed her husband, but she had also fractured their family beyond repair. "What is it about Mia?" James inquired, his voice trembling. "Was I not sufficient for you?" Mia was at a loss for words. How could she articulate the void she had experienced, the yearning for connection that had led her into Amelia's embrace? The weight of her guilt enveloped her, and the stark truth of her decisions struck her with undeniable intensity. "I'm truly sorry, James," she murmured, her tears flowing down her cheeks. "I never intended to cause you pain." James's silence resonated with an overwhelming intensity. After what seemed like a lifetime, he finally uttered a word, his tone icy and remote. "Time is essential for me. At this moment, I find it difficult to meet your gaze." As James retreated into his own world, Mia experienced a profound sense of isolation. The burden of her choices weighed down on her soul, and the remorse felt overwhelming. She had lost the man who had been her steadfast companion for years, the father of her children, and the love she had once taken for granted. Weeks stretched on as they maneuvered through the agonizing consequences of their clash. James seemed aloof, and Mia sensed the gap between them expanding. She made an effort to connect. As the days morphed into weeks, Mia and James grappled with the challenge of establishing their footing. The atmosphere in the house was thick with silence, laden with things left unsaid and emotions that lingered unaddressed. James frequently toiled into the night, steering clear of discussions that might open old wounds. Mia, in contrast, found herself overwhelmed by a heavy sense of guilt and remorse. She had not only betrayed her husband, but also the very foundation of the family they had created together. Seeking understanding, Mia turned to her trusted friend, Abigail, who had consistently provided unwavering support. One afternoon, as they sat over coffee, Mia suddenly broke down in tears, revealing it all, the affair, the guilt, and the hurt she had inflicted. Abigail absorbed every word, her heart heavy with empathy for her friend. "Mia, it's important for you to reflect on your true desires," Abigail said softly. "Are you considering the possibility of mending your marriage, or have you decided it's time to move forward?" Mia found herself in a state of conflict. A piece of her yearned to go back to the life she shared with James, to mend the rifts and restore the affection they once cherished. Yet, a different part of her was irresistibly attracted to the thrill and fervor she had discovered with Amelia. She understood that it was essential to face her emotions truthfully, for her own sake and for James's. After considerable reflection, Mia resolved to engage in another dialogue with James. She felt compelled to convey her longing to mend their relationship, to demonstrate that she was ready to put in the effort required to restore their trust. As the night settled in and the children were tucked away, she found herself seated beside James, her heart racing with anticipation. "James, I understand that I caused you great pain, and I can't undo my actions," she started, her voice quivering. "However, I wish to endeavor to set things straight. I cherish you deeply, and I am committed to working hard for our marriage." James's face was a mask of neutrality as he absorbed the words. Mia pressed on, revealing her regrets and the understanding that her choices had originated from a void she needed to confront. She recognized her errors and pledged to embrace transparency and honesty in the future. "I understand it won't be easy, but I'm ready to invest the time and energy if you are," she said, her gaze searching for empathy. To her astonishment, James did not brush her off. Instead, he nodded slowly, a gentle warmth spreading across his face. "I wish to have faith in you, Mia. yet rebuilding my trust will require some time. It's important for us to attend counseling together." Mia experienced a flicker of optimism. They started going to therapy sessions to explore their emotions in a supportive setting. The journey was lengthy and frequently fraught with anguish, marked by tears and challenging dialogues. Gradually, they began to mend the bond that had slipped away. James opened up about his feelings of betrayal and sadness as Mia delved into her motivations and desires. As they journeyed through therapy, Mia started to understand the significance of introspection. She delved into the motivations behind her choices, acknowledging that she had overlooked her own needs and aspirations in her quest to embody the ideal wife and mother. Through therapy, she discovered the significance of communication and vulnerability in a relationship, elements she had neglected for far too long. Through the passage of time, with unwavering patience and diligent effort, Mia and James started to rekindle the affection they once shared. They began to embrace regular evenings out, cherishing the moments to reconnect and savor each other's presence. They shared another laugh, reflecting on their early days as a couple and the path they had traveled together. Mia began to cherish the little things, like the way James prepared her coffee each morning or how he engaged with the kids in the backyard. She discovered happiness in the simple moments, understanding that affection wasn't solely defined by extravagant displays, but also by the small acts of kindness and encouragement they shared daily. Even with the strides she had made, Mia found herself grappling with her emotions for Amelia. She realized that although he had infused her life with thrill, he had also sparked her impulsive behavior. After considerable reflection, she chose to sever her ties with Amelia. She knew it was time to embrace her marriage wholeheartedly and move on from what once was. One afternoon, Mia settled in with Amelia, her heart weighed down yet determined. "We must have a conversation," she stated, her tone unwavering. "I have decided to prioritize my family and my marriage. This friendship can no longer continue." Amelia's expression transformed from astonishment to comprehension. "I understand, Mia. I never intended to interfere with your relationship with your family. I wish you discover the joy that is rightfully yours." As she turned to leave, Mia experienced a blend of sorrow and liberation. The farewell was tinged with both sweetness and sorrow, marking the end of a chapter rich in thrill yet shadowed by heartache. She stood poised to welcome her new reality. As time went by, Mia remained dedicated to nurturing her relationship with James. They marked significant moments together, from anniversaries to family getaways, becoming more resilient with every experience they shared. The journey toward healing was fraught with obstacles, yet they confronted each one side by side, bound by their unwavering dedication to each other. Mia discovered the importance of clear communication and sincerity, working to foster an environment where they could share their emotions freely, unencumbered by the fear of being judged. She started to embrace her own passions beyond her roles as a wife and mother, rediscovering the hobbies that filled her with joy and fulfillment. Through therapy and candid discussions, Mia and James reshaped their bond. They united as true collaborators, uplifting one another's aspirations and visions. James actively supported Mia in pursuing her graphic design career, understanding the significance of her personal development. With the shifting of the seasons, their bond transformed as well. Mia and James rejoiced in their rekindled romance, discovering a deeper bond than ever before. They came to cherish the elegance of their flaws, understanding that love is an adventure marked by its highs and lows. As Mia reflected on her journey, she understood that the affair had served as a painful yet essential catalyst for her growth. It compelled her to face her longings, her missteps, and the significance of cultivating her connection. Ultimately, she rose with newfound strength, heightened self-awareness, and a profound dedication to crafting a life rich in love, truth, and meaningful connections. Though the scars of the past lingered, Mia recognized them as integral to her narrative, a tale of strength, renewal, and the transformative ability of love to mend even the most profound injuries. As she and James stood together, fingers intertwined, observing their children frolic in the yard, Mia was enveloped by a profound sense of tranquility. They were not merely existing, they were flourishing, poised to welcome whatever the future had in store for them as a united front.